All right, Cowboys Nation, buckle up, because Week 7 gave us exactly what we'd been waiting for. A statement win that screamed energy, swagger, and brotherhood all over that sideline. You could feel it from the very first drive. That Dallas confidence that only shows up when everyone's locked in and playing with purpose. It wasn't just another game. It felt like the Cowboys were sending a message, not just to Washington, but to the entire league. America's team is still here, and they're not playing around this year. From the sideline sounds alone, you could tell the boys were having fun. There's something special about hearing those mic'd up moments. The laughs, the jokes, the banter that shows what kind of chemistry this locker room really has. You had guys shouting each other out, cracking jokes, talking trash, but backing every bit of it up on the field. That's the kind of energy that wins you games deep in the season. It's not fake hype. It's family. It's trust. And it's that fire you only see when a team knows they've got something real brewing. You could see it early on, too. The special teams got rolling, the defense came out flying, and the offense moved with rhythm. It's like everything clicked at once. CeeDee Lamb looked like the star he's supposed to be, moving with confidence, playing sharp, making the kind of catches that make defensive backs second-guess why they even showed up. And Dak? Man, Dak looked like a quarterback who's tired of hearing the noise, tired of the comparisons, and ready to remind everybody exactly who he is. The connection between him and CeeDee was electric. Every time they linked up, you could feel the crowd rise just a little higher. But it wasn't just about the stars. It was the little things, the hustle plays, the sideline communication, the energy from the second and third string guys hyping up their teammates. You could hear them shouting from the bench after every big play, keeping the fire alive even when the cameras weren't rolling. That's what separates a team that wins from one that just competes. The Cowboys were living in that space where everybody, from the starters to the backups, believed they were part of something bigger than themselves. There was this one stretch where the mic'd up guys were joking around, teasing each other about the celebrations. Someone said, "Man, that's a New Orleans bounce right there." And everyone just started cracking up. But right after the laughs, you could hear the huddle tighten, someone yelling, "Go out there, dominate, and trust the man next to you." That's the duality of this team. They can clown around 1 second, then lock in like a championship squad the next. That's leadership. That's balance. That's Cowboys football. The defense, man, they were flying. You could hear it in their voices after every tackle, the sound of pads cracking, the smack talk, the confidence. You had guys daring Washington's offense to even test them. It was like they smelled blood every time the Commanders lined up. And when that pick six happened, forget it. The sideline exploded. Helmets flying in the air, players sprinting down the field to celebrate. Pure chaos in the best way possible. You could tell everyone on that bench knew the game was over right there. That was the knockout punch. And let's talk about George Pickens for a second. The dude's energy is contagious. Every time he's on the field, you can feel that intensity ripple through the rest of the squad. He's laughing, talking trash, but the man backs it up with plays. The chemistry between him and CeeDee was crazy to watch, like two artists working off each other, feeding the vibe. And you can tell that having a guy like Dak behind center means a lot to those receivers. The trust, the timing, the rhythm, it's all there. Pickens said it himself. When you've got both of them out there, it's almost unbeatable. Then there's that moment where CeeDee, calm and focused, shows why he's one of the smartest receivers in the game. You can tell he learned from the early days, from the times the media tried to twist his words or the fans expected him to be something he wasn't. Now he carries himself like a true leader. He knows there's a standard when you wear that star on your helmet, and he lives up to it every week. You can see it in the way he moves, the way he talks to his teammates, and the way he handles himself when the game's on the line. The offense started clicking mid-game like a well-oiled machine. Prescott standing tall in the pocket, reading the defense, throwing lasers over the middle. Lamb catching everything in sight. Ferguson running crisp routes and celebrating like he just found gold in the end zone. Even the linemen were feeling it. You could hear them shouting after big runs, hyping each other up like a family that's been through the fire together. That unity, that pride, it's what makes this Cowboys team different from the ones we've seen stumble before. And on defense, it wasn't just about the big names. You had guys like Clark and Odigizwa making huge plays, stuffing runs, breaking through the line like missiles. There's something satisfying about watching that kind of organized chaos. The rush collapsing, the quarterback panicking, and then boom, down he goes. You could feel the excitement from the bench every time they got a sack. That's what defensive dominance looks like, energy feeding energy. The funniest moments came in between, though. You could hear the trash talk from both sides. One player yelling, "You just talking, man. What you doing?" While the other laughed right back. But when it came time to perform, the Cowboys didn't just talk. They delivered. Big throws, perfect timing, smooth execution. Even the celebrations were on point. You had guys dancing, pointing to the crowd, and just living in that moment. That's the beauty of this game. The emotion, the adrenaline, the shared joy of doing something great together. When the final whistle blew, it wasn't just a win, it was a statement. You could see it in every player's face. Relief, pride, satisfaction, the kind of feeling that tells you this team's finding its rhythm again. Dak looked loose, CeeDee was all smiles, and the defense had that look of a unit that knows they can dominate anyone in front of them. It wasn't perfect, but it didn't need to be. It was Cowboys football, gritty, loud, confident, and unapologetic. Even as the players left the field, the vibe didn't fade. The bench was still buzzing. Guys were joking about who missed a dance step, who almost lost their helmet during the pick-six celebration, who yelled the loudest after the final touchdown. That's the thing about this team right now. They're having fun again. They're trusting each other, believing in the process, and playing like a group that's tired of being doubted. And when that happens, the rest of the league better watch out, because when the Cowboys play loose but focused, there's nobody tougher to beat. You could tell from the way the sideline looked, the handshakes, the hugs, the inside jokes, that this team isn't just about stats or highlights. It's about connection. It's about knowing that the guy next to you will fight just as hard as you do. And that's what made Week 7 special. It wasn't just about putting points on the board. It was about building something real, something sustainable. A culture, a standard. The fans felt it too. The stadium was rocking, the crowd feeding off every hit, every throw, every touchdown. You could hear "How about them?" Cowboys, echoing like a battle cry. It felt like home again. That's the energy you want heading into the back half of the season. That's the kind of night that can turn momentum into magic. And as the team walked off the field, you could see it in their eyes, that quiet belief that maybe, just maybe, this is the version of the Cowboys everyone's been waiting for. The one that doesn't just talk about greatness, but lives it, breathes it, and proves it every single snap. What stood out the most about that night wasn't just the score, it was the attitude. The Cowboys didn't play like a team searching for answers. They played like a team that already knew who they were. Every single snap felt intentional. You could see Dak moving around in the pocket with confidence, reading his progressions like he was in complete control of the chessboard. His footwork looked clean, his throws were precise, and even the small details, the shoulder fakes, the audibles at the line, all showed a quarterback who was fully locked in. He wasn't forcing anything, just letting the game come to him. And when he plays like that, everything around him starts to click naturally. CeeDee Lamb continued to be the spark that lit the whole thing up. He was talking to his teammates, smiling, staying engaged between drives, and you could tell he's embraced that leadership role. It's not just about catching passes anymore. It's about setting the tone. When CeeDee walks into that huddle, there's a sense of calm and confidence that spreads to everyone else. He's learned that being a superstar isn't only about numbers. It's about accountability, body language, and how you carry yourself when the cameras aren't rolling. And man, did he show that maturity under those bright lights. Every route looked sharp, every movement deliberate. He's playing like a guy who's not only trying to prove something to the league, but to himself. Then there's the defense, the heartbeat of this entire operation. Watching those guys communicate on the sideline is a show in itself. You've got Micah leading with his intensity, the veterans coaching up the younger players, and everyone feeding off each other's energy. The mic'd up clips caught that perfectly. It's like watching a pack of wolves plan their next hunt. Every time they came off the field, there was a sense of urgency, quick corrections, short bursts of advice, but also laughter, a reminder that this is a game they love. That balance between focus and joy is what keeps a defense dangerous over the long stretch of a season. And how about those sideline moments between George Pickens and the rest of the crew? You could feel the chemistry bubbling. Pickens is one of those personalities who brings chaos and electricity wherever he goes. He's laughing one second, talking trash the next, then making a highlight catch that has everyone losing their minds. There's something magnetic about that kind of player. You could hear the defense yelling encouragement from the bench, shouting his name after every big grab. It's that collective energy, that brotherhood, that makes this team feel alive again. One of the most memorable plays of the night wasn't even the touchdown or the interception. It was a sequence where the Cowboys' offensive line absolutely bulldozed Washington's front, creating a massive lane for Williams to burst through. You could hear the sideline erupting before he even crossed the line of scrimmage. The big men down in the trenches don't always get the spotlight, but the reaction from their teammates said it all. They knew that drive was built on grit, power, and teamwork, the kind of football that defines who the Cowboys want to be. Even the funny moments kept the spirit light. There was one clip where a player shouted, "You just talking, what you doing?" and everyone on the bench cracked up. But behind the humor, you can sense the competitiveness. This team holds each other accountable, but they do it in a way that keeps the vibe positive. It's a tough balance to strike, staying serious about winning without turning every correction into tension, and right now, Dallas seems to have found that sweet spot. You could see the coaching staff's fingerprints all over that performance. The play calling felt creative yet disciplined, the adjustments were on point, and the players clearly trusted the plan. That's what happens when preparation meets execution. It's easy to talk about culture in sports, but culture is built on habits, not slogans. Watching this team operate, it's obvious they've been putting in the unseen hours, the film study, the communication, the small corrections that don't make the highlight reels. It's showing up in the way they handle adversity, too. When Washington made a push in the third quarter, there was no panic. No pointing fingers. Just calm execution. The mic'd-up moments showed Dak on the sideline after that pick six, grinning, talking to his receivers like a general after a battle. You could hear him telling the guys to keep the foot on the gas, not to let up even for a second. That's leadership. That's belief. And it's contagious. When your quarterback is that dialed in, it elevates everyone around him. Before we roll on, subscribe to Cowboys Wire News, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Your support keeps the Dallas Cowboys updates coming. Tell us what you think in the comments. Whispers around the NFL world have been growing louder this week, and now the rumor mill has reached a fever pitch. Sources close to the team report that Jordan MAILATA, the Australian-born offensive lineman known for his imposing size and surprising agility, has been spotted arriving at the Dallas Cowboys headquarters. While nothing has been officially announced yet, insiders hint that MAILATA is in town to finalize what could be one of the most talked-about deals of the offseason. MAILATA, who has impressed fans and analysts alike with his development from a raw rugby prospect into a dominant force on the NFL line, would bring a unique mix of power and finesse to a Cowboys roster that has been searching for consistency up front. The mere sight of him walking the halls of the team's facility has fueled speculation. Is Dallas about to make a bold move to solidify its offensive front? Fans on social media are buzzing with excitement, dissecting every possible scenario. Could MAILATA be stepping in as a cornerstone for the Cowboys line for years to come? Or is this just the start of a bigger wave of roster changes designed to catapult Dallas back into Super Bowl contention? While the team remains tight-lipped, the energy surrounding this potential signing is palpable. What makes this story even juicier is MAILATA's personal journey. From rugby fields in Australia to NFL stadiums in the United States, his rise has been the stuff of legend, and his presence alone carries a sense of intrigue. The Cowboys brass reportedly values not just his physical attributes, but his work ethic and the remarkable adaptability that has defined his career. If the deal goes through, it could signal a strategic shift for Dallas, blending raw talent with proven performance in hopes of dominating the trenches. The coming days will likely bring more clarity, but for now, the buzz is undeniable. Jordan MAILATA at the Cowboys headquarters is enough to send shockwaves through the fan base and the league alike. Whether it ends with a signature on the dotted line or just another tantalizing rumor, the story is already fueling conversations, debates, and dreams of a stronger, more formidable Cowboys team. The NFL offseason just got a lot more interesting, and MAILATA's potential arrival is at the heart of it. That's a wrap from Cowboys Wire News. For breaking Cowboys updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Tell us your take in the comments.